How that goes. It's, you know, like, you think you know, you think that you think you may know, but you think you've been through this before. Every year, the same thing. The last 2-3 weeks are just crazy. Just,
It'd be good to get through tonight. You think about it.
Yeah, 6:30.
Yeah, your timer's set.
We've had a couple of great
Oh, I know.
That's a good one. I like that one. It's true though. Oh man. He is always moving. Pains me. What?
He should not be sitting right here because he'll be too fidgety and.
Oh my God, no! Give him a seat in the back.
Last seat.
Gross. Is he conducting the ceremony?
His changed.
Not one bit.
No, I ran into him in ShopRite the other night.
He's done an awesome job.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, he's on his certification.
It sounds like a life test.
Yeah.
Well, he lost like 100 pounds. He wanted to lose some weight.
He got about a 5-hour window to get me tomorrow.
What time? It's good.
I can do the morning.
Drive time to go again?
I'm not in tomorrow, but I'm driving up to Scranton. Today was. Tomorrow I'll be in the car about 8 o'clock. I gotta just look at the schedule. Does that work for you? Or is it
Yeah, no, that's good. I can call you.
No. I know Jaguar.
Yeah.
I know.
You know how he is. He's just crazy.
Yeah, I wish I could. And I did. We ran it because it wasn't just.
No, you need to. Midland graduation last night was retirement. Yeah, and Senator Kip Bateman, he's on our board, so they had Really?
Oh yeah. Nicholas. Yeah.
I don't know what time he's fucking I didn't have much of a chance to do
Yeah,
much.
me neither. It was a busy day.
Yeah. Hey.
But I was curious when I saw it. I was very surprised. It seemed like a lot of news coverage.
Yeah, you would think it would be a big deal.
Yes, Ann Arbor. Yeah.
Hopefully by the time, because Shelly's out next week. Hopefully you're in the group on the 26th. I know what the story is. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to Kip about it. He's not on either. been out there draft. Like the actual doctors. Doesn't really hurt us. Some handshakes there.
You should see what's going to happen with the election. It's just,
I met him.
did you?
Yeah, I was out with him about a month. Yeah, and at his age, I mean, he knows some stuff. I don't know.
Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Is it not on? No. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
In an effort to continue Belvidere High School's tradition of maintaining a dignified graduation ceremony, we ask your cooperation with the following. Please turn off all cell phones at this time. It interferes with our PA systems. Please refrain from applause, calling out, use of the air horn, or noisemakers during presentations of diplomas, as it distracts from the next student in line. And to the audience, please remain seated during the sessional. Your assistance and understanding is appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Good evening, friends and family and honored guests. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you here tonight to this wonderful celebration of the class of 2017. I would like to begin tonight by thanking Mr. Barrick and our outstanding maintenance staff for preparing the Dom Colangelo Stadium for tonight's events. I would also like to thank the Fire Department, Police, Ambulance Squad, and the American Legion Color Guard for being here tonight and also throughout the year at all of our events. I would like to thank Mr. AP and Mr. Zetterstrom for providing us with our music and sound tonight. And I would also like to thank our support staff for helping us to prepare for tonight, especially the high school guidance staff. They put in a lot of time and effort to make sure that tonight goes smoothly, and we appreciate your efforts. Thank you. At this time, I'd also like to recognize our two members of our staff from the Belvidere community that have retired this year. First is Mr. Neil Adams Conroy, special education teacher for 36 years, and Mrs. Terry Hummer, who was a first grade teacher at 3rd Street for the last 34 years. So congratulations to them on their retirement. On behalf of our teachers, our staff, and the Board of Education, class of 2017, I congratulate you for all of your accomplishments and everything you have done to make an impact on our school. This class, the class of 2017, has been instrumental in helping us to transform our district, to help us define our statement of purpose, to help us to develop our 4 core values, and to help us on our focus on empowering our students. And for that, we thank you. I now have the distinct honor of introducing our honored guest this evening. From the Belvidere School District Board of Education, we have Mr. Sean McInerney, the President, Mr. Robert Blum, Mr. Donald Mitchell, Mrs. Michelle Bacchino, Dr. Robert Zeppelin, Mrs. Deborah Furman, Mr. Glenn Matlock, Brian Smith. We also have with us from White Township, we have Dave Rader, and from Hope Township, we have John Lucas. Our Belvidere School District Administration, High School Principal, Mr. Edward Lazara, Assistant Principal, Mrs. Jessica McKinney, Child Study Team Director, Mrs. Danielle Rambo, our Middle School Principal, Chris Carabinas, and Mr. Brian Staples, our Elementary Principal. And from the sending districts, we have Mr. Michael Slattery, Superintendent from Hope and White, and Mrs. Ryan Begelli, our Principal from Harmony Township. So thank you for coming. We also have Mrs. Heather Weidlich and Mrs. Nicole Tipton from the Harmony Board of Education, as well as Mr. Mark Bohm from the White Township Board of Education. Thank you. And from the local town officials, we have Mr. Walt Tucka and Mr. Hal Halverson from the Leo Club. Graduation wouldn't be complete without members of our Hall of Fame. This year we have Mr. Tom Carabinas, Mr. Jeff Herb, and an old favorite, Mr. Andrew Mark. Thank you guys for coming. As you leave us tonight, class of 2017, I encourage you to take risks in life as you have done here in the high school. And not be afraid to fail. Each failure is a lesson learned, and many great people before us have failed before they have reached their ultimate success. American actor Bradley Whitford once said, "Take action." Every story you're ever connected with, every leader you've ever admired, every puny little thing that you've ever accomplished is the result of taking action. You have a choice. You can either be a passive victim of circumstance, or you can be your own active hero of your own life. Class of 2017, I offer you congratulations. And I also wish a special thanks to the parents and friends of this family, this outstanding class. It's with you that they have grown and become the fine young adults that they are. And we appreciate that you've allowed us to work with them for the last 4 years, and for some of them, 12. So I thank you. Enjoy your evening, and it is now my pleasure to introduce our Board of Education President, Mr. Sean McInerney. Thank you.
Chris, thank you. On behalf of the Belvidere Board of Education, congratulations, class of 2017. Congratulations to our parents, guardians, grandparents, family members, and loved ones. And also congratulations to our faculty, our administration, and support staff, everyone who basically helped you to arrive at this point this evening. In preparing these remarks, I was given 2 pieces of advice: keep it short, and then even keep it shorter. So, with that being said, there are just a few things I'd like to say, and since you are a captive audience for the next hour, just a few, just please indulge me. Belvidere High School, as you know, is really steeped in tradition, and I'm proud to be a Belvidere grad myself. As you venture on the next challenges, remember where you came from, but while graduation and remembrances are about the past, graduation truly is about your future. So just a few words of advice. Follow those things that you're passionate about. Challenge yourself. Try to avoid those things that are easy. Do what you love and love what you do. As Mr. Karuba just said, be willing to take risks. After all, there have been many failed selfies by Mr. Lazaro. The world right now really needs critical thinkers. Challenge conventional thinking. Exercise yourself. Exercise your minds. Right now, things are a little broken too, and I think we are a country that's built on optimists. So use that optimistic point of view as you move forward. And you all have the ability to be part of a positive change. There are, every day, new jobs are being created and emerging careers, and the possibilities with new technologies are truly endless. And throughout your journey, just think about ways that you can help others, because if you help others, the rewards will truly be endless. So I just want to leave you with 2 quotes, 2 lyrics from Audrey Graham, better known as Drake. I've always been me, I guess I know myself. And sometimes it's the journey that teaches us a lot about the destination. So to the class of 2017, our most sincere congratulations. We look forward to hearing about all of your journeys.
Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Is there any such thing as a failed selfie? I don't know. Good evening, Mr. Karuba, members of the Board of Education, local dignitaries, invited guests, staff, family, friends, and students. It is with great honor and pleasure that I welcome you to our commencement exercises for the class of 2017. I would also like to thank everyone for their assistance in preparing for our ceremony. In particular, Ms. Hesketh, Mrs. Merrick, Mr. Zetterstrom, Mr. AP, Mr. Barrick, Mrs. McKinney, and many others. Today is bittersweet. It's bittersweet because a classmate that many of us held dear to our heart is not here to celebrate with us today, but I am sure that he has a huge smile on his face right now. And I'm also sure that if he was here, he would manage to sneak a beach ball throughout the graduates. It's bittersweet because we are so proud of you and your accomplishments and what you have contributed to our high school, yet we hate to see you go. It's bittersweet because we will not get the opportunity to interact with you on a daily basis anymore. But we know that you're moving towards your goals and aspirations. I often tell people that I have a great job. I'm the principal at Belvidere High School. I work at a great school, in a great district, with a great board, with a great staff, great parents, and great kids. What could be better? This year, with the help of our staff and students, we made a focused effort to rebrand our school district. What does that mean? It means that we did an evaluation of our district, our buildings, on what we are producing, our letterhead, our core values, and what we believe in and stand for. Through that process, we developed our statement of purpose on our letterhead, which is celebrating our past and empowering our future. And we recognize our 4 core values: tradition, community, academics, and excellence. Today, we celebrate the 125th graduating class of Belvidere High School. 125 years of graduations at Belvidere. You cannot mention Belvidere and not recognize our tradition. We are Belvidere. Community. Belvidere is community, and community is Belvidere. We are county Cedars, we are Cedar Nation, we are family, and we are Belvidere. Academics. We have high expectations for academic success from our students so that they may continue to be lifelong learners. We are Belvidere. Excellence. We hold ourselves, our students, our staff to high standards. We reflect our community that we represent. We are small, we are tight-knit, we are hardworking, we are resilient, we are tough. We are Belvidere. This class is special to me. As a principal, you always remember your first graduating class and the speech you gave to them at your first graduation. However, this class is special to me because they were freshmen when I started here at Belvidere. We did these 4 years together. We had great moments that we shared together. We also shared tough times together. We grew together. We learned together. We laughed. We laughed together. We took lots of selfies together. We struggled together. We endured together. And we triumphed together. So today is bittersweet for me. You've had the pleasure of attending Belvidere High School. Your parents moved here and chose this school because many of them went here. They believed in the education you will receive here. They love the family atmosphere that we have here and many other reasons. But things will be different for you after today. Tomorrow, there is no Google Classroom. Tomorrow, there will not be any Miss McKinney's chasing you around and making sure you are in class and monitoring your attendance. Tomorrow, Mrs. Koff, she will not be asking you to dissect anything. Mr. Raduzzi will not be making fun of you in the halls. Mr. Owens won't be on your case about rewriting your paper for the 10th time. You won't be eating lunch in Miss Golder's room or Miss Koch's room. You won't be asking Mrs. Geisinger to give you any more time to finish your assignment. You will not be getting scolded by Mrs. Merrick. You will not be debating pros and cons of the presidency in Mr. Coyle's room or identifying the intricacies of abstract art in Mr. Coyle's room. By the way, we have 2 Mr. Chris Coyles, believe that or not, and it's taken me 4 years to learn their email addresses. You will not be challenged by Mrs. Gayton to see something and say something, and you will not be making Coach K cry over your TED Talks. You'll not be able to lay down in Mrs. Golder's office when you have a tummy ache. You'll not be touring the cemetery of Belvidere with Mr. Phillips. Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Black, Ms. Stover, Ms. Cassidy, Ms. Osorio will not be over your shoulder keeping you organized. Coach McIntyre will not be there to call you out and embarrass you in front of your team. Mr. Wisner and Mr. Sue will not be with you to pose in the weight room. You won't be singing in Mr. AP's room or planning your next trip in Mr. Z's room. You won't be shooting hoops with the Poyers. You will not be role-playing and acting with Miss Bader. You will not be participating in your Spanish with Mrs. Hinkle, Mr. Hurick, or Miss Dominic. You will not be building tables with Mr. Cosimano. You will not be firing rockets with Miss Gardner. Mr. Lay will not be empowering your leadership skills. Mrs. Teeling will not ask you to justify John Proctor's actions. Mr. Demarest will not argue the merits of free speech with you. You will not be helping Miss Lightcap with technology. Miss McHugh will not be asking you to write in your journal. Miss Hall will not be there to walk you through career options. You will not have to pretend like you like math for Miss Adamczyk, Miss Bertoli, or Mr. Hahn. And you won't be making waffles in Miss LeBate's room. You won't have to subject yourself to Mr. Ware's love affair with the Philadelphia Eagles. You won't beg Mrs. McInerney to open the library. Miss Skoog and Miss Svensson will not be calling you down to discuss schedules. Mr. Welsh, Ms. Belsky, and Ms. Porcelli will not be with you encouraging good decision making. And you will not have to rush into school to see what the heck Mr. Gross is wearing today. And tomorrow, there will be no principals looking to take selfies with you. Two of the more difficult things to say in life are hello for the first time and goodbye for the last time. 4 years ago, we said hello to you, and today we say goodbye. Our staff, our family at BHS, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you. Please welcome Sarah Gross, our salutatorian.
Thank you, Mr. Lazara. Good evening, honored guests, administration, teachers, family, friends, and of course the class of 2017. I want to start by saying congratulations. We did it. I cannot begin to express how thankful I am. We have all worked so hard to get here and should be proud of ourselves. We made it. We're here together and we're proud to be the Belvidere High School class of 2017. Thank you to the administrators and teachers of Belvidere High School. You have guided us throughout our journey and have made it possible for us to have the ability to move forward and discover who we truly are as individuals. Thank you to all the parents, guardians, grandparents, siblings, friends, and all sources of inspiration who have supported us every step of the way, both the good and bad times in our lives, because we all know they have seen the worst side of us, yet they still love us no matter what. Through the support of these people in our lives, we have each been given the opportunity to go out and create our own story and define who we are. With this in mind, I hope we will all find it within ourselves to contribute to something outside of ourselves, something for the good of others, something greater, and through this we will find our own purpose. I have found personally, the more I do for others, the more I am able to better define myself and my own purpose. As a very reserved person, I regret that I didn't push myself outside of my comfort zone and get to know more people. I regret certain things that I did or didn't do during my 4 years in high school. We all do, but what is most important is to take these and use them to better our future, to learn from our past. So let's remember our past, what's behind us, and learn from it, because it'll allow us to thrive in the future. Remember, we will always have this. No matter where we find ourselves after today, we will always have our 4 years at Belvidere High School, the people we met, the friends we made, and the memories we will have, that provided a starting point for our adulthood. As I was preparing this speech, I wanted to make sure my words came from the heart. On this very night, we all share this wonderful excitement of what our futures hold, and before us lies a great big world of endless possibilities. We all started here together 4 years ago. Some students were known to us, others weren't. One thing we shared was our excitement, emotions, hopes, and dreams. I, like all of you, anticipate where my successes will lead me. At this time, I would like to remind you of a letter that we as freshmen were asked to write to our future selves 4 years ago. I would like to read to you what I wrote on August 26, 2013. Dear Sarah, right now I am so nervous. I am sitting in the middle of the high school gymnasium and worrying about every possible thing. By now you are used to high school, and soon you will be going off to college, a new start of a whole new 4 years. Don't be nervous. You got through 4 years of high school. It wasn't so bad, right? You will be great in college. Don't worry, you will be fine. Yours truly, Sarah. At the time I wrote this letter to myself, I would not have anticipated all that was to come during my time here at Belvidere. None of us could. We've shared growth, hardship, loss, and friendship as we became young adults, and these experiences have made us who we are today. We will all carry these memories with us wherever we go. And yes, I, like many of us, fear the unknown. 2 months ago, I struggled to make my final college decision, a decision that would determine my near future and the next 4 years of my life. Those few weeks were some of the most troubling times in my life, and I am still nervous and unsure of what my future holds. Just like everyone else here, I don't know what to expect when I go off to college this August, when I leave home and uproot my life, the only life I have ever known, and this truly scares me. However, this letter reassures me and should reassure us all that what seems scary now should not prevent us from moving forward with our future endeavors. My hope for us is that we find what motivates us as individuals and embrace that. We should all be proud of our accomplishments so far. So let's celebrate and feel proud of our achievements, but keep in mind this is where it all begins. Live in this moment. Take in everything that is happening right now. Don't take anything for granted. From this moment forward, we should use this feeling of accomplishment to continue our momentum. We will choose where we go, what we do, and who we become. And most importantly, it's not just who we become, but how we define ourselves through contributing to something greater. Embrace the idea that we have a whole world of possibilities in front of us. However, our greatest potential is reached through serving others. Thank you.
Please welcome our valedictorian, Samantha Steinman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I get started, I would just like to take a moment to express my appreciation to my family, teachers, and fellow classmates for helping me get to where I am right now, standing here in front of you. I would also like to thank the administration for providing me with this opportunity. When I walked through the front doors of Belvidere High School the first day of my freshman year, saying I was nervous would be an understatement. I was downright terrified, and I'm sure many of you felt the same way. On top of trying to successfully navigate the building, we had to quickly make new friends, join new clubs, and form new and improved study habits to make it through the next 4 years. It seemed like a daunting task. However, looking back, I realized that I had nothing to worry about. I am very proud to say that Belvidere has an environment unlike most schools in the area. Rather than simply calling it a high school, I would prefer to call it a close-knit, warm, and accepting family. Our class has been through a lot together, from the highs of excelling athletically, musically, and academically, to the lows of coping with the tragic loss of our fellow classmate. Our sports teams broke records this year, our music ensembles placed first in regional competitions, and our AP students excelled both inside and outside of the classroom, and this was all accomplished under the leadership of our class. It is very strange for me to look upon all of you today, sitting here in your caps and gowns about to graduate. I see some who have become my closest friends, the people who I would not have been able to survive high school without. I see my fellow classmates, team members, club members, and even some people who I've never even talked to. We all have such different personalities, interests, and talents, yet we share one thing in common. We are about to move on to bigger and better things in our lives. Whether that be continuing your education, joining the military, or diving right into the workforce, in a few short months, we are going to get a taste of all the amazing things the world has to offer. And just as you are nervous upon entering high school, I'm sure you are very anxious about the big changes that are going to occur, and that's okay. I wanted to share some advice that may help with the transition from good old Belvidere High School to whatever future plans you may have for yourself. I know that people always say, just be yourself and you'll be fine, when entering a new situation. And while this is mostly accurate, I think it's also important to realize that this is the time you can change to be whoever and whatever you want to be. What I mean by this is to not let any stereotypes or labels you have acquired in high school define you, as you continue on your journey to greatness. Stereotypes negatively impact not just high school students, but all members of society every day. It is all too common that the stereotypes often associated with a given gender, race, age, socioeconomic status, and upbringing harmfully and unfairly impact a person's career choice and their success in that career. But as many of you know, people are often falsely stereotyped. Take myself, for example. Being a blonde and captain of the cheerleading team, some people may automatically stereotype me as being dumb or ditzy, but this is obviously far from the truth as I am standing here today. Here at Belvidere, there are many athletes who are also involved in the music and arts, and AP students who are also the life of the party, and I think it is awesome that such students are actively working to break stereotypes. But don't stop there. When you get to college, don't let the fact that you are from a small rural town hold you back. When you get to the workforce, don't let the fact that you are a woman or that you didn't have much growing up hold you back. And if anyone ever tries to unjustly label you, just work even harder to prove them wrong. When you get out into the real world, remember that hard work, respect, and an open mind are key. With these 3 things in mind, you will already be on the path to success. Everybody knows that putting in hard work will almost always lead to desirable outcomes, but remember that it may take many years for the hard work we are about to put in to actually pay off. Stay humble and stay determined. While it may sometimes seem like our generation, with our technological literacy, no longer needs help from the generations before us, remember that our elders still have so much to teach us in all aspects of life. Listen to them, stay respectful, and realize that they have been in the position we are all in right now and have loads of knowledge and advice to offer. Outside of Belvidere, we will be meeting and working with very unique and diverse people of all ages who grew up in entirely different environments than the one we call home. Keep an open mind when meeting these people. You never know who will be your next coworker, boss, or best friend. In closing, I would like to share one of my favorite and admittedly cheesy quotes. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. While the roads that we choose are going to be bumpy, twisty, foggy, and at times impassable, remember that all roads lead somewhere, even if it's not where we ideally wanted to end up. Don't be afraid to pull over and ask for directions, and, most importantly, be sure to make frequent pit stops to take in the view. Congratulations, class of 2017, and thank you.
This year we're going to be starting a new tradition where the Teacher of the Year will address the graduating class. So this year, Ms. Kristen Gayton, please come up.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with you today at your graduation from Belvidere High School. Each of you has worked very hard to get to this day and have persevered through various challenges. These 4 years have given you a unique education that many others will never experience. Although I am not a BHS alumni, like you soon will be, I am proud to know that my 4 children will get the same opportunities you did. I believe that our genuine love for this school and the people in it are what makes this school so special. I remember my graduation from high school, which will remain an unnumbered amount of years ago, and how I felt so ready to move on and be done with school. I felt moderately prepared for what was ahead of me, but quickly learned that while school made me an educated young woman, it was life that transformed me into a strong woman with wisdom on her side. I would like to share with you a few thoughts, quotes from those I admire, and opinions of my own that will very well might help you become the wisest and best version of yourself. Never let anyone tell you you can't do something. Leading by example is the best way to lead. Your kindness can be your most attractive feature. Make sure your apology never includes a but. Visit your friends, no matter how far away they go, because if you wait too long, they might be gone when you need them. Stand up for what you believe in, even if it means standing alone. Seek respect, not attention. It lasts longer. A person who feels appreciated will always do more than expected. Be an encourager. The world has enough critics. Never be defined by mistakes in your past. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence. Love yourself first so you know what you deserve. Happiness is found when you stop comparing yourself to everyone else. Don't be sorry, be better. And be the reason someone smiles. I live by many of these quotes and have learned my value and purpose in this world through experiencing mistakes, hardships, triumphs, more mistakes, and love. What I'm trying to say is that after today, your real-world lessons will get bigger and bigger. Learn from each and every encounter you have with another person, believe in yourself and your plan, and on any given day, try to be the most authentic, truest version of yourself you can muster. In the words of Steve Jobs at his 2005 Stanford Commencement speech, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. In closing, I would like to take a moment to speak to all the graduates directly and tell you how much you have added to my life. I appreciate each and every one of you and what you have done for me. You continuously filled my life with purpose and affirmation that I am on the right path. Thank you for your honesty, your humor, and your love. Remember, as A.A. Milne, the famous author of the books about a teddy bear named Winnie the Pooh, once said, "You are braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." Congratulations. Thank you all very much.
Now that's a tough act to follow. Congratulations, guys. Luckily, I'm just introducing the next speaker, so good luck, Mr. Beam. It is my pleasure to introduce tonight's commencement speaker. Every year, we take a poll of the senior class and ask them who they would like to speak, and this year they chose Mr. Beam. If you don't know Mr. Beam, he has been working with us for the last little over 7 years on our custodial maintenance staff. He's usually the guy you see mowing the lawn at about 125 miles an hour. He's very efficient in his job. And unfortunately, he spent spring training with the Yankees this year, and he blew out his rotator cuff, so you'll see he's got a little injury. But he's still here tonight. He just had a little surgery, but I knew he wanted to be here. It's very important to him, and it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Kevin Bean as your commencement speaker. Kevin?
Good evening. It's hard to believe that 12 years can go by so fast. I'm sure there were some days that seemed to last forever, but at the same time, I'm sure it feels like yesterday that you were all 5 years old heading off to school for the very first time. Many of the feelings from that day probably being experienced by you right now. Feelings of joy, nervousness, fear, and excitement. These are all accurate words to describe this day too. A big bright world stands before you, and today that world is yours. Before I talk of the cliches of the future, I would be remiss if I did not honor the past. You see, class of 2017, you are the 125th graduating class of Belvidere High School. Belvidere High School's first graduating class did so in the year 1892. A time so distant, it's near impossible for you to imagine. I am equally sure that the class of 1892 would have just as hard a time imagining this day. Looking to their future from their eyes, their world changed so rapidly, people probably wonder what would come next. You see, it was just a few years after their graduation that the Wright brothers had invented controlled sustainable flight. By the time they were 50, Sir Arthur Fleming had invented penicillin, greatly changing their life expectancy. If they were lucky enough to live to 95, their weary eyes watched in amazement as U.S. astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon. You may be asking yourself what any of this has to do with you. Well, all of these feats were carried out by ordinary people. People whose vision helped them achieve extraordinary things. They too attended school and graduated. Some went on to further their education, and some took jobs in the family bike shop. But the one thing they all had in common was not just to succeed, but also the desire to strive for excellence. If you look at almost every great event in history, they were achieved because of someone's hard work and their will to be the best. Failure was not an option for these individuals, although each of them did. Failure, as hard as it is, it's part of the human condition. It's through failure that we learn. It is the thing that fuels one's desires for victory. It is also the key ingredient that makes our victories taste so sweet. So today, through all your trials and tribulations, you have achieved a goal placed before you. A goal that was set before you before you even knew the meaning of that word. A goal that each of you took a very different road to get to the finish line, but finish it you did. Today marks a new day, and this time you alone to get to set the goals. Whether you leave here to go on to college, to work on the family farm, or maybe become a member of our armed forces. I encourage you all to set goals, to push past your failures, to strive to be the best in all that you do. By that I mean, don't just become a lawyer, become a Supreme Court justice. Don't become a farmer, become an innovator in your industry. And most importantly, don't just become a person who marks time, become a person that stands the test of time. At this moment, I'm reminded of a Les Brown quote. Les Brown said, "If we do what is easy, our lives will be hard. But if we do what is hard, our lives will be easy." Each of you have the ability to achieve greatness. So as I leave here today, imagine how this world will change in your lifetime. And imagine how much that change will be because of you and your classmates. Good luck, Congratulations, class of 2017.
Mr. McInerney and the Board of Education, I hereby certify that the students seated before you have satisfactorily completed all the requirements for graduation as prescribed by the Belvidere Board of Education and have met all the requirements of the State of New Jersey Department of Education. Therefore, without any whatsoever, I recommend these students be awarded their diplomas on this day, the 15th day of June, 2017. Mr. McInerney, it is my privilege to present to you the Belvidere High School class of 2017. Ms. McKinney, come on up.
Teresa Ackerman. James Adamczyk. Nico Adamczyk Silva. Adrian Elise Amy. Nicholas Michael Appleby. Shaylee Rose Auletta. Brandon Baker. Logan Christopher Barella. Ariana Bell. Benjamin Anthony Blum. Caitlin Marie Bohr. Erin Victoria Bronico. Benjamin Stone Burns. Christopher Giovanni Campana. Nicholas Cassidy. Sarah Elizabeth Casterline. Madison Rain Cathers. Craig Nelson Krantz. Zachary Dalton DeLuca. Sophia Rose Demeter. Nathaniel Joseph DePinto. James F. Devine III. Jonathan Elias Dow. Christopher V. Dragone. Christoph S. Eisenberger. Heba M. El Nagar. Diami Sky Emery. Brandon Scott Fasolka. Jordan Thomas Federick. James Foster Morse. Christine T. Fox. Michaela Lee Jaquinto. Jacob Gold. Emma Nicole Goldschmidt. Megan Elizabeth Grinitsky. Tyler Charles Hagan. Louise May Harris. Lauren Marie Harrison. Kyle Hartzog. Lars Halfgard. Gregory Christian Arthur Heidel. Blair Elise Hoffmaster. Christina Elizabeth Holmberg. Jennifer Caitlin Hothouse. Daniel Joseph Jacobs. Grace Lynn Jensen. Tracy Marie Kiefer. Alexa Ray Carinas. Cooper Aaron Cornegay. Addison May Labar. Luke Christian Locasio. Victoria Ann Loyal. Adam Devlin Mackey. Nicole Marie Matlock. Sky C. McIntosh. Caitlin McLean. Raven Lee Meehan. Addie Elizabeth Mitchell. Nicole Montalone. Brittany Lauren Moore. Kaylee Moore. Liam Mullen. Angela Marie Murphy. Alexander David Nelson. Shannon O'Hara. Bartolomeo Joseph Pepe. Corey James Peschel. Garrett M. Peel. Holly Margaret Pongratz. Devin Puglis. Ashley Ramirez Urena. Caitlin Delphine Redden. Rosalia Reyna. Michael Rodriguez. Abigail R. Rogers. Enrique Roman. Benjamin Rose. Veronica Austin Rose. Rachel Ann Rothrock. Samuel Paul Rush III. Michaela Schuler. Joseph Siebold. Joseph Todd Senna. Katie Sheldon. Jesse J. Smith, Jr. Hannah Rose Sprons. Anthony Tartaglia. Jasmine Shalise Thomas. Jacob Gerald Thornton. Ross Charles Tordick. Terrell Tennyson Tutka. Sean Patrick Vandervelden. Desiree Marie Vega. Joseph Jordan Varilli. Nicholas Constantine Verkeilen. Richard Villalobos. Dylan Lee Vold. Nicole L. Williams. Kyle J. Winters. Olivia Marie Wyckoff. Claire Elizabeth Zara. Kara Ann Tipton. Jeremy David Deal. Samantha Taylor Steinman. Sarah Olivia Gross. Rachel Claire Dultz. Megan Eve Free. Daniel Robert Penna. Megan Rafalco. Melissa Rose Strom. Danielle Nicole Michaelunas. Jessica Maria Scherzinger.
Will the class of 2017 please rise and join me in the tassel ritual?
double up some courses that she did. She graduated with everybody else, yeah. And I think she may have taken some